Okay, Tippa, thank you for taking the time to explain a little bit about how we work with women who've experienced violence and also maybe have been trafficked. I wonder if you could introduce yourself and just say how you came to be working here in Belgium with this project.
Hi, yes, my name is Tip or Juthatip Talumaswat. I'm from Thailand. 4 years ago, I studied here for my master degree for international migration, and then I was school. I want to use my skill as much as good as possible, so I found Oasis. So by the time I was interned with Oasis for 6 months, and now this time I'm coming for work for as a project officer at Oasis Belgium.
Thank you. I wonder if you could explain to the delegates at this conference how we deal with a case. Maybe it's a case of domestic violence or linked to human trafficking. What's the first thing that happens? How does somebody make contact with the project?
Yeah, so normally it's very depends. Some people just like heard us from her friends or from the Thai temple, or somebody is like we actually supporting everybody, not only Thai, but also Asian ladies and Asia from around the world. So they get contact from us from the website, and sometimes they got the number. So they started to calling us, contact to us, and then we listen to them. We hearing from them, and we really need to identify what they need us to support. And afterward, of course, we would like to see them, so we just have an appointment. And they come to the Oasis. It very depends on very individual cases. Many of them they asking for support for the child custody, and many of them have very urgent case. For example, they would like us to be there to go to the police with them and go to the hospital with them. We really need to see that that person is safe or what kind of help that they needed from us.
And is there sometimes a case where the woman is being exploited, being used in the massage parlors? And if so, what do we do if that's the situation?
So with that very risk situation, we talk to them first. Are you feel safe? And what help that you really need from us first? Do you need to go to the hospital, or do you need the emergency house? Or because like in here, if anything happen, of course you really need to see the government officer. For example, go to see the police or the hospital. You need to have a report. So after that, if we really need to take an account on this case, so we have the evidence to show that this case has been exploitation, and afterward we can defend ourselves in those terms. And many of the time that we see this struggle, we really need to listen from them, really be very open-minded, and if they need us immediately by the time, we need to consult the team, how can we do, and then we see which possibility that we can support this lady as soon as possible.
Do you feel that the social services in Belgium are helpful when we're dealing with cases?
Yeah, in many ways, but it's very complicated to work in Belgium because we have Flanders, we have Wallonia, we have Brussels, and in every commune they support differently. So we really need to see where is the movement live, and then we just try to connect that with them. And if we have some close partner organization, for example, the shelter in some places, and then we can easily to discuss with them that this person really need help. But if some places that we never been able to contact or connecting with them before, so it's going to be a little bit harder. But of course, I believe that they try their best to supporting the people, but there's so many needed. So that's why sometimes the help or the support doesn't meet all the need.
So, in a normal case, how has the woman, are they usually from outside of the country? And if so, how have they come into the country?
It really depends. For example, many of the lady who come here, they some been married with a Belgian man. Some of them they come to work. They come for touristing on and everything. It's asylum seeker. There are so many possibility, but it's really depends on which countries of the lady you're talking about. For example, there are a huge number of Thai women come to here by marriage visa, and many of the huge women from the Indonesia or Philippines, they come for here as a worker, and afterward they've been exploitation by the employers. Yeah.
So would you say often the women come into the country legally, either through marriage or through
I
work
believe that
visa?
majority of them they come legally, and if they come illegal, sometimes they don't really realize that they are being illegal smuggling to the countries. For example, we support so many of the Chinese lady to return to China with the IOM, but as I see many of the time, the Chinese women, they are first generation, second generation, they want to get to work here, they pay so much for their visa, and then the agency took their passport. Of course, they knew that they would like to be here, they pay so much and they try their best to be here, but they got ripped the passport and they didn't really know that, you should have the passport, your ID card by yourself. That a kind of exploitation that they didn't really realize that a thing.
When a woman, excuse me, is in an abusive relationship, could you explain a little bit about the different ways that their partner might control them?
Yeah, I mean, many of the time, the women coming here, they have a big dream. They carry a lot of pressure, a lot of thing in their shoulder, and come to the new countries with the different weather, the languages, the culture, and everything is make them a bit smaller, smaller from day to day. And once you didn't get a chance to have a job or didn't get a chance to integration with the society and get controlling by the partner to not do anything, don't go anywhere, that person just becomes smaller, and you know you just devalue yourself from time to time. And if they planning to going back home, but sometimes it's not that easy, because like some people has their children and the family here, and some people has a lot of burden that they need to many of the family, they expected the people who come abroad to have some money to send it back home. One, they didn't have those money, the relationship is kind of get longer, not closer than they should be. So they carrying the shame, all the pressure and everything. So that's why there's a reason that they didn't really get a chance to going back home, or they feel shame to being back home.
Tell us a little bit about the massage parlors that the team visits.
Yeah, actually, the team has been visiting massage parlor for Paris for so many years, but of course, you just like not walking down the door and hey, can you open? Can I ask you something? It's not like that. It's their business, and you cannot judging them, because sometimes when why here the prostitution is legal, but many of the Asian lady, they are not willing to work on the red light district because they feel that that's a different, they doesn't want anyone to brand them. Of course, when we walking there, they don't know that are we going to brand them as prostitution, or what do really we understand from them, what do really want from them, they don't know. But we just need to understand and trying to give the information with an open minded and big smile that we are here for helping you. We give a lot of information. We are going there not the first time, the second time, third time, fourth time, and so many years for bonding relationship, for bridging the information and us relationship together. And many times we get a chance to support this lady, because of course working in prostitution is not only about being exploitation by the man, and also sometimes exploitation by the owner or the madam, and also it's very risk of domestic violence and everything sexual health in there. So we, what Oasis do, we just working with so many organizations for about who work with the human trafficking or who support for the medical checkup. We just introduce this to them because of the language barrier. They are Thai, I am Thai. I'm just speaking Thai to them, trying to explain more. They understand more that we are come here for the good intention, and after that they will just contact us after, like directly.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.